I'm just going to take a little bit of time to speak to you about biblical archaeology, in that it runs differently to every other module in this manner. Every student on Silver Laureate has the opportunity to enroll directly with UNISA to do biblical archaeology. Now, what are the advantages of this? Number one, you become a UNISA student with a UNISA student number, and you will get a UNISA library card. When you pass your module, notice the positive language, you will then also get credits at UNISA in biblical archaeology, which if you want to in the future build on, you are able to do so. Now, within your fees are included this UNISA module. Those of you that don't want to apply directly to UNISA, or your application is not accepted, all right, you will still do the same curriculum and write the same exam. Now, because UNISA students are required to write an off-site exam, those of you that are not enrolled with UNISA will write the exam here on the same date and time. It is the only module that has an exam of this format. There are 2 assignments and 1 exam. The benefits for you as a student, besides getting the credits at UNISA and becoming a UNISA student, which enables you to gain access to the My UNISA online system, is the library card. Pastor Simone referred to go to a library. That UNISA library card gives you access to a library that has over 2 million works. Take you a while to get through it all. Okay? It's a 7-story building. It's state-of-the-art. There in Pretoria. All right? UNISA also has, if you're not able to get to Pretoria, but you're in more outlying regions, they do have mobile libraries, which you would obviously then need to contact UNISA to ascertain where they are, when they're going to be there. The other advantage to being a UNISA student as well is you have direct access to the biblical archaeology faculty. Our students that are doing biblical archaeology but are not registered with UNISA also have the same access, they just don't have the access to the library. Now, you don't have to have access to the UNISA library to pass biblical archaeology. And not everyone that applies on the UNISA application platform will be a successful applicant. That does not mean that you are unsuccessful doing biblical archaeology through Christian Family Church Bible College. It is just an added bonus that we offer to you. Which means that in the future, if you want to extend or do further studies in biblical archaeology or other humanities studies, you can do so. You will have some credits that will add to it. And I thought you'd be far more excited than that. Biblical archaeology faculty at UNISA, as I mentioned before, is the largest faculty of its kind in the world. Last year, Christian Family Church Bible College postgrad were able to bolster the number of students by 22. We nearly doubled their student intake. Why am I mentioning this? Because biblical archaeology as a faculty, which is part of the theological faculty of the humanities faculty, is decreasing. And if the numbers decrease, then there won't be any more funding for it. So we're in partnership with UNISA. Now, that does not mean that UNISA are accrediting our Bible college. All that we are doing is we are giving our students the opportunity to become UNISA students without extra cost to you. You won't get that anywhere else. How does UNISA benefit? Extra students. More students. We pay on your behalf. Their faculty continues to run. And so we have a biblical stronghold, if I can call it that, in a purely academic institution. The next thing I'd like to go on is to the EduPortal, which is going to be your window to postgrad studies. Darren will be taking us through how to operate when you first approach it, but this is going to be your mantra, and this is how you're going to be living your life from now on. If you're married, you wake up in the morning, you kiss your spouse, brush your teeth, read the word, pray, log on to the portal. Why? Because we are not going to be phoning you and telling you anything. We could be putting it on the portal. I may even put a pop quiz there. Any of the lecturers may put a pop quiz. And we may decide, okay, it's going to be a weighted pop quiz that will have, say, a 5% weighting on your assignment. We may not. We may put a poll there. We may put information that is vital to one of your modules. It will be on the portal. Don't phone us as a faculty and say, what is this? What am I meant to do? When are you going to give me this information? Because you're going to get a stock answer. Log on to the portal. If you tell me, well, I don't have Wi-Fi, I'm going to say, come to the church. There's free Wi-Fi here. This is, and I'm not trying to scare you, all right? But because we are such a small faculty and we have to treat you like postgrad students, we do this because we respect you. Okay? And we know that by getting you to think and to plan ahead and to put time and effort in, you will have the best experience. We are not going to spoon feed you. We are not going to give you the answers to questions. We are going to give you questions in the lectures as well, and see how you debate amongst yourselves. That's something I tend to do. Put something out there, see if I can learn something from you. And you need to participate in the lectures. But getting back to the EduPortal, everything pertaining to your studies will be on there. Everything. Your assignment will be put there. The grading of your assignment will be there. Any pre-reading will be there. Any required reading will be there. Any tips to help you with your assignments will be there. Your photographs will be there. And I need to reiterate what Mariette has said. When you upload your photograph, it needs to be an ID type photograph. No bikinis, no Speedos, okay? We want from here up. That's what's going to go on your student card. And that is what will be living with you for the rest of the year. We're not going to be giving you a lanyard. It's going to go into your wallet. Why? Because hopefully you value your wallet. All right? We don't take the excuse, well, I can't sign in because I haven't got my student card. Doesn't cut it. Okay. Mariette mentioned also something about the handing in of assignments. 1 minute late is 60 seconds late. And late is late. As I mentioned earlier, this is not the Mercy department, this is an academic department. Teacher Wendy, who is a scientist and has been to many academic institutions, sometimes thinks we are too lenient. Hey, Teacher Wendy. But know this, and I need to say this from the start before I hand over to Darren. We want you to pass. We want you to graduate knowing that you have learned something, not been spoon-fed something. I speak on behalf of all lecturers. We have two objectives. One, that you leave the sessions wanting to know more about the module and then are inspired to research. And then your assignment should be something that when you've completed it, you're able to say, wow, I learned something from that assignment. Not because it was taught to you, but because you were directed by the lecturer in the right direction to go and find the information. If we can do that, then we have done our job. If you can have that experience after doing your assignment and have the desire to research, then you fulfilled that in your own lives. Now, we've spent a lot of time with a number of students, especially those in the Gold Laureate program, in the Masters of Theology. And we've walked a fairly long walk. They haven't got these furrowed brows and downcast expressions because of how we are. They've got it because they realize now what they didn't know before but know now and can apply. And I've seen through a number of the students how what they've learned they're able to apply in a manner in their lives and in their churches and in their other institutions to a point which has just elevated their ministries. And it's not because of us, it's because of the effort that you put in yourselves. That's where you learn. And I see a couple of people shaking their heads. What you put in is what you're going to get out, not how much we give you. So at this time I want to hand over to Darren. Darren is going to show you what the portal looks like, how you log in, etc. And once Darren is finished, we will then have questions and answers.
Hi, good morning. This is the portal system that you're going to be using. So you need to know what the link is, the domain name is to find the portal, and it's called eduportal.cfcbiblecollege.co.za. For those people who can't remember that, you can go to Google. If you type in eduportal, CFC's eduportal comes up first. So there's no excuse for not finding it. And you should have been sent a link, or you will be sent a link in your email that'll give you a username and password to log into the system. So you'll see on your right there, you'll type in your username, which is normally your email address, and your password, which will be sent to you. Okay. There might be notices on the left. You would have come here to register, so you must have found this portal before, and then you're going to log in on the right. If you do forget your password, please don't email Mariette. Okay? Click on the Forgot Your Password button, the link on the right there, and it'll take you through a process of resetting your password. Okay. And when you log into the system, let me make sure I've got my password. You're going to see something like this. You initially won't see a photo on the left there. We want you to upload a photo. And that's the kind of size that we would like you to upload. Smile. So if we can't see your face on the photo, we can't see who you are. Okay, that's not really going to work. So it needs to be a nice size like that. You'll see there's a view button on the left. You click on that view button, and it'll show you all of the details that you've entered into your application. Just check those details are correct. If you find some details are not correct, scroll down to the bottom. There's an area right at the bottom where you can just type in there and say, what is it that we have wrong? And then post that there. For your photo, there's a file upload facility here. You click on this link here, choose file. Find the photo on your computer, upload it, and then click on the save button. Then we've got your photo. Then the faculty will be able to print your student cards. If you don't do this, we're not going to be able to print your student cards. So it's really important when you get your username and password that you do this. Okay. So when you see this interface, there'll be some announcements in the top here. So keep your eyes open for any announcements here. It might be telling you that there's some news or some documents, but keep your eye open of what's new. If you want to see the documentation that Pastor Simon's been talking about, that he's uploads in the system, that's that second button there, Documents. Click on this Documents button, and you'll see something like this. These are the files. You can see when they were uploaded. If you click on either the icon or the file name, it'll download the file to your computer. Then you can save it on your computer and obviously read it. There may be folders like this here with UNISA. You can click on the folder just the same way as you use your laptop, and it'll show you the files in that folder. And there may be more folders as time goes on during the year. Okay. There's a Finances tab as well, so we can keep track on, or you can keep track on your finances. If you have a proof of payment you want to upload, you can also come here and you can upload a proof of payment. So then it helps Dee to keep track of everyone's fees. It really does help her to get it right. Okay. We've also got a calendar here that may have various dates that be important that you can look at as we populate it. The leave application you guys will not be able to use because it's only for undergraduate. You guys can't say you can't arrive at something. You have to be there, okay? You heard that earlier. And if there are any queries, that last tab there, you can click on the Queries button. And if you can then select a person, it's either a financial query or it's a postgraduate query, so that the system knows who to send that message to. Right. You'll see also there's polls that will be up from time to time. Please complete these polls. It does give information to the faculty of how people are feeling about certain things or what they think of certain things. You'll simply click on the radio button, which answer you want, and then click on the voting button. In this case, I'm changing my vote. And then last but definitely not least, because this is where all your content is, you've got your actual course in the center. You'll be able to see your progress through the course. And again, what's also very important, you need to choose your block. So we need to know which block you are committing to. So there's a drop-down box here. So for instance, for Judeo-Christian Studies, you'll select 2 or 6, depending on which block it is that you want to choose. After you've chosen this, at the end of the period, you're not going to be able to change it. So make sure you get it right. And we can't accommodate everybody in the first block or the second block. So after a certain number of students have been allocated, that option will no longer be available to you. You'll only be able to select the block that is now free. It's like CompuTicket. Those rows are taken, those seats are taken, you'll have to take what's left. So if it's really important for you that you do participate in the first block or a second block, make sure that you log onto the system early and go and choose your blocks. You'll select it there. You then select it for each item. You'll scroll down the page and you click on the Save Block button. So please do this quickly. If it's important for you, if it's not as important for you, let the other guys do theirs first. But if it's really important, make sure you go and choose it. Okay, so after you've chosen your blocks, and then it'll be fixed, you can then go into each course. Now there's a view button on the left there. You click on that button to access the information or assignments or videos, whatever's been uploaded for that course. So you can see here, there's a whole bunch of different sessions. The system is tracking what you're doing. So we know if you've read something or if you've not read something, or if you go through some e-learning. We know that you've been going through the system. So please go through this so that you're 100% going through all the material. After you've gone through material, before your lectures, and after your lectures, you'll have submit assignments. That submit button at the bottom here, you're going to click on that button to access your assignment. Now, what's very interesting in this case is I've submitted this assignment, but my fees are overdue. So you can see my marks are actually withheld. So if you see that being withheld, it means you're in trouble. Okay? That big guy is going to come after you. Okay? So please make sure you understand why things are happening. If you click on the submit button, it's going to give you information about the assignment. The requirements for the assignment is this blue link here, under requirements. You'll click on that and it'll download a document of what the requirements are for that assignment. You then need to go and do that assignment on your PC. Okay? And make sure you keep a copy on a USB stick or something like that. So if something happens to your computer or your dog eats your computer, you've got it on the USB stick. Okay? So make sure you keep a copy. What you will then do is you'll come down here, you'll come here again, and I've already submitted the assignment here, but there are file upload buttons. We want you to upload your file. Again, you heard it earlier, we don't want 3 separate files, a cover sheet, the body, and bibliography. We want one file with everything in that file. So it's really important. We were talking to the lecturers earlier, and it was very frustrating for them when they have so many different files that they've got to download. You need to make it easy for the lecturers to be able to mark your assignments. You don't win any points by making it hard for them. Okay, so you do a submission. Now, you may fail. Then you've got to pay for a resubmission fee. After paying for a resubmission fee, the second part will then arrive, and you can do a second submission. Okay, you're not allowed to do a third submission. This is just a test. Okay, you're allowed to then do a second submission. And again, make sure that you do your due diligence. This is your last chance to get it right now and to get these credits. If you have any queries, there's a button at the bottom which you can do a query. There'll be feedback on this page as well. So come into this page and you'll see exactly what the lecturer has been saying generally about you and the mark that you've been given. And then you can download the document that the lecturer has marked and see the exact feedback. Normally it's a Word document that you'll upload, and then within that Word document they'll put comments. It's only the Hebrew that you'll upload a PDF and you'll see the lecturer scrawlings on your actual PDF and where you've gone wrong. Okay, I think that's about it. Is there anything else you want me to cover?
Just show e-learning.
Okay, let's have a look at some of the information.
I want to add on something so that you understand how your learning happens this year. You understood how it happened in undergrad. You basically were asked to read. Remember, we did pre-reading in undergrad. Then you came to class. Then you learned for your tests and you would write your test. And you had classes every week, almost every week, say on one night of the week. Now, in postgrad, it's slightly different. Remember, we talk blocks instead of terms. And your learning is not just what happens in class. a lot of the material given to you is populated on this Edu portal to augment the physical teaching time that we have with you. So there's more time than classroom time. There's a lot of research that you do completely on your own, some of it guided by some of the things we put on. A lot of it is there for you. If you make use of it, you'll do really well. But then there is also some learning that is prescribed where we ask you, and like Darren says, it's tracked. It actually contributes towards your mark. We can see how you progress through it or not. Now, I want to encourage you, and if they haven't said it to you often enough, EduPortal is your baby. How many of you have, let me just stand, how many of you have scholars at a university level at this point in time in here? Right? Am I telling the truth when I say to you, there's no spoon feeding at university level anymore? If your son or daughter does not go check their EduPortal and there was a random quiz or test, so sad, so bad. Now, we're not quite that bad, but we are telling you, we give you so much extra learning on the EduPortal. Some of it is for your own benefit to help you get better marks. We've done the research for you and we've put it on there, but it's not compulsory. But what we're going to show you now is a lot of work that is compulsory and it contributes to your success and your mark. So I want to say this to you. Pastor Simon jokes about how you treat EduPortal. I say those of you who are married, well, before you say hi to your spouse, say hi to EduPortal in the morning first. You never know. You know, your spouse will forgive you if you forgot to say hello, but if you fail and you have to come around again, you're not going to be so happy. So make this part of your daily routine. Even if there's nothing, but at least you know you've gone to check. Because here's the most frustrating thing for us as a faculty is so often we have this beautiful platform to talk to you with and share information to help you do better. And then we get assignments back and we can tell you haven't looked at what we've given you to make your life easier. So make EduPortal your friend. And for goodness sakes, where there is e-learning or material that you're being tracked on, go and do it. And this is not one of those cases for those of you who used to have vitality points. Remember, we used to be able to read those articles and then you got some extra points, but you didn't actually have to read it. You just have to pull that thing down. And then you got, this is not like that. It's going to track you when you're there. Do you know that the dean actually asked Darren to build into the program that he could see who logs on, who doesn't log on, who comes to visit his information he uploads there, who wants to be a good student, in other words, and who doesn't. So please don't let him have to, because you know what he does? He's a very friendly fellow, but he gets very grumpy when you don't use all the stuff he gives you to look at, and then you send in an assignment that devastates his heart or any other lecturer's heart, and then he grumbles. And you know what his argument always is? I'm going to put a test on there. Any minute now, I'm going to put a test on that EduPortal, and I'm going to make it count for points. Oh, please don't let him do that.
Okay, I'm going to give you an example of a module that basically has just the 3 types of aspects you need to look at. Okay, Darren has gone through the submit, which is where the assignment is. Then we have what is referred to as the learn, which is where we track you and which you have to do. And then we have the view. All right, so let's look at the learn. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but this you will need to do, and I'll tell you right now, before you do Origins of the Bible, you will have to have gone through all of this and bring your laptops or your iPads or your tablets to the class because you will need to go through this during the class. Okay, so we will have here, for example, and what I have done here on this particular one, I have put certain slides that will be utilized. Now, you'll see at the top, there's a ribbon of numbers. Okay, do you see them there? They're gray. All right. Now, in this particular instance, they're gray because they've been looked at. If they haven't been looked at, okay, we can see how many you've done. And that's what will give you the percentage that you see in that little circle. All right. Now, if I go back to the dash, so you would need to have gone through all of these to have made yourself familiar with them before the class. March. Okay, let's go back to it again and I'll show you how helpful we are. The submit button you know about. The view button, okay, you don't have to have read everything there prior to the class. But because I'm such a nice guy, I've given you the whole King James Bible on your portal. The whole Bible. For your edification, for your reading, you don't have to read through it all. So if you haven't got a King James Bible to do Old Testament theology, it's on the portal for you. So don't say we don't give you stuff or help you. All right? And when I say the whole Bible, I mean the whole Bible. It doesn't have the book of maps, though. But it will give you a preface to the, like this. I've put this particular one because the King James Bible is one of the focuses in Origins of the Bible. But that's the sort of information that we give you. The view button, the learn button, and the submit button. They are the three aspects in every module. If you don't look at this stuff and you don't use it, don't come crying to me. We've also got that in documents, haven't we? Darren went to documents earlier. We've got a cover page for the assignment. All right. Where are you? There we are, Harvard style. Everything is here for you. And if there is something here, or if there's something that you want and it's not here, research it. We give you, on every module, we give you so much information to assist you. We don't give you the answers to the assignments. All right? We give you the information to guide and assist you. To prepare yourself, not all the modules, but to prepare yourself so you know what you need to be au fait with prior to the module that you're going to. It is, I can't say it enough, the module that you are doing has the information on the portal, and you won't access that information until you access the portal. Now, Pastor Simone and I have both said that you need to make the portal, I won't say your bosom buddy, but as close to you as possible, and as frequently as possible. The more you play on it, the more au fait and the more familiar you become with it, and the more that you can find the information that you need. And if you have suggestions, send them to us. But don't send us suggestions like that we want tea and coffee during the break. Okay, all right. What do you think I should put on my assignment? You know what my reply to that question is? What do you think? All right. Let me just also say this about our blocks. We don't expect you to sit in class like this. You will have tables laid out like this, with 2 people per table. Bring your laptops, bring your iPads, your tablets. Bring your own extension cord because you'll be there for quite a while. All right. You're allowed food and drink in the venue. We hold it for Silver Laureate in the Dr. Bev, and for the Gold Laureate, we hold it up in the Sheila Palmer rooms. You are allowed to eat and drink. Okay. We do have comfort breaks between each session. We do have a lunch break of an hour from 1 to 2. But also understand, as long a day as it may seem for you, it's longer for the lecturer because he's standing there imparting to you. So I'm pleading with you, give the lecturer the respect that he or she deserves. And if anyone falls asleep in my class, you're going to wish you were never born. But let me say this. We have fun. We have a lot of fun. We have such interaction, we have discussions, we have, and there's no wrong answer. There's nothing to be embarrassed about if you don't know an answer to a question. We don't expect you always to know the answer. We expect you to be able to go and find the answer. But we have fun. We enjoy ourselves. We are very different. We pride ourselves on the excellence that we're able to offer. So much so, as I said before, there are a number of students here that we are really so proud of because of what they are doing already with the information that they've got, not from what they've been taught, but what they've learned themselves. And each little bit of information you get, no matter what the module is, I can guarantee you it will be like little light bulbs going off in your minds and in your hearts. You will definitely be enriched by this, provided you put the time in. All right? Now, I'm going to show you something, and it's only on the Origins of the Bible module that I can show you, because it's the only one where we have hard copy assignments. I'm going to not show you the assignment. I'm going to hold it up, but I can't see the detail. All right? But I want to show you the excellence that we expect from the excellence that we give. First of all, I'm going to show you something that is not considered excellent. Okay? Each one of us as lecturers have done our dissertations. Okay? We know our stuff. We've done our even theses in some instances. All right? The assignment requests a timeline. In this particular instance, okay, I know what's on the internet. I know it. This is a direct copy. This student got 0. Okay? It looks nice. 0. Plus it doesn't have 5% of the information I require. This assignment is the excellence that we expect. All right? Forget the naked lady, he got marked down for that.
That was the only thing that got marked down.
Okay? Look at the amount of information that is provided, the quality that it is produced. We don't expect everyone to produce this. I give a format for the assignment, okay? But that's the quality and type of information that is required. And that's not limited to one. And remember, Charles, when you did it, you were given the option to use whatever materials you wanted to use. Okay? Now, every module, all right, has assignments that require the same amount of excellence, not in necessarily the presentation, but in the quality of the information and the attention to detail in your assignment.
Think about how much the artistic side is. What's the artistic looking here?
Yeah. As nice as that looks, okay, Origins of the Bible is an assignment that has a portion of the grade attributed to creativity. All right? It's the only module that has that, because we feel that most institutions these days try and suppress creativity, where we are created by a creator, therefore we have to be creative. And we allow that to flourish here. But if you have no creativity within you, but you give me all the information, you will pass. But if you give me no information and it's the most creative thing this side of the south of the North Pole, you won't pass. The information, the content is what is crucial. But this particular assignment gives you the opportunity to utilize that creative part within you. And you have a wide scope. This particular gentleman, he did it on that particular type of material. The first time we ran this, we had an assignment that was a web page. Okay? We gave the students free rein on how to present their assignments. That was our introductory year, and it was an advertising year. We had Renata over there. She's an artist. She did a framed painting, all right? We've had people present things as games. We've had people present things. Now, I'm not telling you this is what you've got to do. This was the first time. We don't do that anymore. So we've had websites. We've had presentations, PowerPoint presentations. Had a lady in Cape Town that gave me a huge clay pot with 25 scrolls in that made up the content of the assignment, presented it like the Dead Sea Scrolls. I had a guy down in Cape Town make a whole stand with a 5-meter long faux leather scroll with all the information on. His bibliography was 24 pages. That assignment and that particular assignment I've just referred to are the 2 highest graded assignments. But you could give me all that information on one page and you could still get a high mark. But what I'm trying to impress upon you, okay, you give me rubbish, you give any lecturer rubbish, you're going to get a rubbish mark. You give a lecturer quality with content, they will grade you with a great mark. You can ask any of the theology students, are the lecturers fair and generous sometimes? Even though they may not think so initially, have you benefited from your assignments? Come on, let's hear you guys. Have you? Yes. And who did the assignment? You or the lecturer? Right. Okay. Okay. I'm going to utilize Origins of the Bible as an example. Every module, every lecturer has to prepare what we refer to as a rubric. It's a marking memorandum, so that in the event that I am unable to mark an assignment and someone else needs to mark it, they will see what is allocated for every aspect of the assignment. So let's take Origins of the Bible. My first area, I've broken it up into 10 equal segments. All right. The first one I will look at is overall appearance, layout, creativity, and how the actual assignment is depicted. So I will look at that. I will look at that there, and I say, gee, that looks good. He's done it in a way that's easy to understand, and I will assess that, and I will give a mark to it. The next one goes down is historical detail, and then I've gone through all the different aspects that I've lectured on, all right, and then they need to cover all of those in the assignment. So for example, okay, if I wanted information about the King James Bible, historical information about the King James Bible, I will look for that specific information. If there's nothing on the assignment about the historical information about the King James Bible, then for that portion on the marking rubric, you get 0. I also have a section at the back for a bibliography. All right? I'm slightly different to the other lecturers, probably more similar to Pastor Simone in this instance, is I look at your bibliography. Now, I'm going to tell you this, not because I'm boasting, but all lecturers know their modules. I know what good sources are, and I know what bad sources are, and I know what rubbish sources are. Okay? Just by going through your bibliography. If you give me a list of blogs, if you give me a list of Wikipedia type things, that's a bad bibliography because the references, the sources are unreliable. So I will give you a grade based on the quality of your bibliography. If you don't give me a bibliography, you'll get 0 there, and in actual fact, that's 10% you've lost. I assign 10% to the quality of your bibliography. I'm not as pedantic as Pastor Simone is in the way you present it, because that's not the crux of my assignment, but I want to know every reference you've used. I'm going to give you an example of assignment, and forgive me if I'm using mine as a reference all the time. All right? The module is called Origins of the Bible. I had a student They typed in Google Bible. Wikipedia popped up first, clicked on Wikipedia, there was an article on the Bible. Copied all the way down, excluding the Wikipedia bibliography, pasted it on her Word document, left all the hyperlinks, which weren't hyperlinking to anything other than going back online, and that was submitted as the assignment. It was 53 pages of assignment, 53 pages of wonderful Wikipedia information. But I didn't need a printout of Wikipedia's information because I can go online and read it myself. Student got 0. Now, what we are developing at the moment into the system is a plagiarism tool. It's taken a little bit longer, unfortunately, because we have to use an outside source, whereby in the future when you upload an assignment, it will automatically check your assignment. At the moment, though, okay, I have that task. Pastor Simone referred to something whereby we have an idea of the sort of language that you put across. Okay? Now, let's use me as an example. My Afrikaans is non-existent. Okay? So if I were doing an assignment where there was some Afrikaans terminology required, and I was able to come out with some of these wonderful big words and have perfectly good Afrikaans grammar, then the lecturer would start wondering, where did he get this information? That's not how he communicates. So we have these telltale signs that we're able to identify. We are not lecturers that just started this last year. Pastor Simone can go, when she gets a dissertation or a book review that's been presented for the dissertation, she'll be able to identify information just by looking at it because she has done it so many times herself. That assignment that I showed you was graded 0. I saw it. Mariette was the first thing I said to you. Probably, because I've done it a couple of times, this guy's just copied off the internet. Please don't. All right? Yeah, sure.
Let me explain to you why that is such a dangerous thing for us on an international academic level. We're accredited with an institution that is not just a theological institution. We play in the tertiary academic world. And we have signed major constitutions as Christian Family Church Bible College that we will uphold these international conventions. Now, when I'm going to give you the really shocking side of things, and I don't mean to scare you, but I want to, maybe it's a good thing if I scare you. If we plagiarize as a student, and the author catches you plagiarizing, you are subject to legal pursuit, i.e. a court case, a fine, a hefty penalty, and it can run into the 100,000s, and it's normally $1 amount, not a rand amount, because it's international authors we're dealing with. What happens on another level is, as an academic institution, we lose our license to operate, we lose our accreditation, and if we don't uphold the conventions, we can also be taken to court because you plagiarized and we didn't perhaps catch it. So it is a multiple level responsibility. I mean, I know it sounds so heavy, but please understand it is. We are talking about authors that have, their lives might be, they're academics. It's kind of like why we can't just take the Plain Truth's music and say it's ours and not, you know, pirate. We know about piracy. We know about all of these things. And we don't understand how severe it is in an academic world. So please, we would rather you contact the faculty multiple times to be sure. Something Pastor Simon meant, and in those documents that Darren went to earlier on, you will actually see I've given you a checklist that you can use to verify the credibility of a source. Because, you know, there are a lot of people who write stuff out there. And some of them shouldn't be. Some of them should have sat down before they hurt themselves. Not everything that's out there is accurate. Not everything that's out there is theologically correct. And this is the year where we stop putting filters out and we ask you to be able to discern. So use the checklist so that you can make sure your authors are sound authors. Because you've read a lot of people and you think, what were you thinking? I just use Facebook these days as an example. There are days when I read some of the stuff that people write on Facebook and I think, you shouldn't have a Facebook account. You should really just sit down before you hurt yourself. You should just read. So be careful. Use the checklist then. We give you one. We say to you, check the author's background. And Pastor Simon is 100% right. Please be very careful that you don't use casual things like blogs and commentaries and things like that. We are on a different level here. Use sound theological research sources. There is room for some articles, there's some room for other people's sermons, other people's opinions. But remember, you are working on a theological level. Look at your sources, look at who's writing what. And ask yourself constantly, are they theologically correct? Do they line up with the Word of God? And if they don't be quoting them no nothing. Don't give them no reference in your paperwork, because they shouldn't. Unless you're quoting them as if to say, what was this man thinking? Then, of course, you're using it as a counter-argument. So please be very, very careful. Use what's on the Edu portal. I know we're going to go to a questions and answers one. So here, I'm going to ask one for you, because now it's all very well we tell you all the stuff is on here. I'm sure your first question is, when do we get our password and how do we get on this thing so we can read all the stuff?
Okay. The password and the login details will get to you by Thursday next week. All right. Sorry? What time?
Those who want the first block are like...
You're a theology student. You should even be asking that question.
The answer is you're supposed to check EduPortal all the
You've
time.
already got your login details.
This is for the Silver Laureate.
The gentleman at the back, sorry. What time? What time would you like it? 12 a.m.
No, Pastor Simon, you said that we have to wake up in the morning and then we have to greet our spouse and then go and pray. So can we have it by 6 a.m.?
No, we'll have it 1 minute before midnight because that won't be late. Once you've got that, Darren has told you what to do, okay? But you'll only get it if your fees are up to date. This is the other thing that we have to address. And I'm going to do it now before questions and answers. It's not something that I like doing, but it's something that is imperative. Notwithstanding that we are a small faculty, all right, your fees enable us to continue. As you noticed, we have external lecturers. We have to pay them. Not only do we have to pay them to come and lecture, we have to pay them for every assignment they grade. So it's actually quite depressing for us when there are a lot of resubmissions, because we have to pay them for those too. And that's why there is a resubmission fee. Also, the reason there's a penalty if it's submitted late is because it messes up their time frame. Now bear in mind, you may be doing one assignment per module. The lecturer will have a minimum of 30 assignments to grade. And if I've got 30 of those things to go through, it takes a bit of time. So fees are imperative, okay? Provided all your fees are up to date, come end of Thursday, you'll get your login details. Let me remind you, we are now sitting over a week into February. At the end of February, your first month's tuition fees are due for you Silver Laureate students. For those of you that are paid all in advance, wonderful. That's great, all right? But please recognize that. If you fall into arrears, we have this wonderful system that automatically suspends you. In other words, you will not be allowed to log into the system.
No money, no looky.
Okay? What we do allow, though, we understand that people get paid on the last day of the month, all right? So we do allow a couple of days grace. Because if you're doing an EFT, those payments may take a couple of days. We do not accept cash. If you've got cash and you want to pay, go deposit it into our account at the bank. All right? So EFTs, credit cards, wonderful. We accept it. Reason being, everything is online. It's an online system. Your finances are recorded online. For us to have cash, we have to have someone to take the cash. If we have to have someone to take the cash, we have to employ someone else. And that means putting your fees up. Whilst we're talking about fees, the equivalent course running in the States at the moment for what we are offering on Silver Laureate, okay, with the required number of classroom hours, all right, is 340,000 Rand, excluding airfare, accommodation, and food. There is no other course like this in South Africa. The closest would be from the from SATS, South African Theological Seminary, no live classes, all online. So recognize what you get here. It is of excellent quality. We ensure we have the DNA of Christian Family Church. But let me say this to you. If there is something you don't agree with what the lecturer is saying, ask the question. If you want to put something that you disagree with that's asked in the assignment, do it. So let's say, for example, you're doing an assignment for Judeo-Christian studies. You're researching something for that assignment, okay, and then you notice this particular person has made this statement. There's nothing wrong with you bringing that statement in, and if you disagree with it, to counter it, to bring an argument into your assignment. What does that show us? That you're thinking, that you're applying what is being given to you.